What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to yet another Mountain Vibes episode. Thank you so much for tuning in today. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to properly get a ski boot on as well as doing it up. Now, this may seem like a very simple task, but time and time again, I always see people struggling and getting frustrated because they can't get their ski boot on properly, or at least in an easy way. And then once the boot's actually on, people are complaining about having cold feet, sore feet, because essentially they're doing the boot up incorrectly. So today's video, I'm going to go over how to properly do up the boot to make sure that you have a nice, comfortable, yet secure fit, and as well making your life a heck of a lot easier trying to get the boot on. So without further ado, let's get into this video, shall we? All right, so before you actually get your foot into the boot itself, you want to make sure that you actually have a proper ski sock on. Biggest reason for this is ski socks are not made of cotton. They are going to be made out of a synthetic or a merino wool blend. The biggest reason for this is that merino wool or synthetics will help manage the moisture a lot better, pulling the moisture away from your skin, maintaining a drier and warmer foot. If you do have a cotton sock on, if you sweat in it or if water somehow gets into your boot, it's going to hold on to all of that moisture and therefore staying wet and then at the same time making your feet stay cold for the entire day. As well, ski socks have strategic padding kind of like either on the shin or down on the toe area just to make it a little bit more comfortable while you're actually wearing the boot itself. As well, you're going to want to make sure that any sort of like leggings or pants are rolled up nice and high. You don't want them necessarily sitting inside the boot, because if you have really thick seams, you will be getting a lot of pinching in the area wherever the seams are sitting. So once you get your sock on, pull these up, you're going to want to obviously get the boot undone. Pretty self-explanatory. What you could do is you can actually take these pieces here and you can actually flip and rotate them around, so that way they don't snap back and then grab out back onto the teeth, and you realize that you can't get your foot in because technically the boot isn't actually undone yet. So once all that's done, big crucial step here, and that is by taking the tongue and you want to pull it forward and up a little bit. Reason for this is allowing you to open up the instep of the boot. This is going to make it a lot easier for you to slide your foot in. Many people, what I've seen is they actually just keep the tongue as is, and by putting their foot in, it's pushing the tongue down into the boot, closing off the instep, making it a lot more difficult for your feet to slide into the boot. And then when it comes to your actual foot, you're not just going to want to have your foot and just jam the heel down like this. You're going to kind of want to, in one continuous motion, bring your toes up and then just kind of push your heel down into the boot that way. So, having said that, and there you go. And then once your foot's actually in the boot itself, what you could actually do is you can kind of tap the boot down from your heel just to help lock your heel in the back of the boot. And at the same time, once you've actually done that, you want to make sure that the tongue is situated inside the liner. You don't want it like overlap like that, because once you actually do the boot up, you will get a lot of pinching in this general area here. So just make sure that everything is nice and aligned properly. Same thing with all the plastic. You want to make sure that all the plastic is overlapped in the proper way, so that way it's not pinching. It makes it a lot easier for you to close the boot. So once you've actually tapped your heel back, once you've actually got the tongue situated, you're going to want to start doing up the buckles. So you're going to start with these two up here. Now, it doesn't really matter if it's one or the other, but the key element here is that these two buckles, once they're done up, this is what's holding your foot in the back of the boot. So right now you may be feeling the front of the boot right now because your foot is just kind of floating around in there. Ideally, a perfectly fitting ski boot, you do want to be able to feel the front a little bit. Actually, if you look at this here, I've just kind of overlapped and grabbed the bottom buckle. But you can do these up a little bit loose to start, just to kind of get your foot in the back of the boot. Make sure you get the power strap done up. And then as you kind of go at it, you can kind of do them up a little bit tighter. Now, if you find that it's still a little tight, what you could even do is you can take the boot itself and you can lean into it a little bit. And so by doing this, what's going to happen is it's going to help hold your foot in the back of the boot. And I actually just realized that I did my power strap on upside down. But it still works. Now, once you've established this, these two bottom ones, this is another key way that I've seen a lot of people do this incorrectly. These ones here, they're literally meant to just close the boot. If you have to crank these down, your boot is not fitting properly. These are not meant to support or lock your foot in place. They're only meant to close the boot. And if you actually end up having to like close them down with like your whole hand like this, you end up crushing the top of your foot, cutting off the circulation. And then That's how you're going to get cold feet throughout the day. So a proper fitting ski boot, as mentioned, these are meant to be as tight as possible. These are meant to barely be done up because they're just meant to be closing the boot itself. If you find you have a lot of space and you have to close them down, chances are the shell's too big. If your toes are like really tight and curled to the front, chances are the shell's too small. I did make a video on how to buy ski boots. I'll link it down in the description below if you want to check that out. And then that's pretty much it. And then to get out of the boot, obviously you just do everything in reverse. Pull the instep out. And what you can do is you can grab back here with your thumb. And that's it. Make sure everything sits all nicely. And yeah, there you go. So that's it for me for today, everybody. Hopefully you got something out of this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. I'll be happy to get back to you as soon as I can. Hit the thumbs up if you like this video. It'd be greatly appreciated. Subscribe if you are not already. Don't forget to support your local ski and snowboard shop. Thank you so much for tuning in today. See you guys in the next video.